Hello, welcome back to the Board Games 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally talk a lot of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be continuing our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. We're going to be going through number 20 down to number 11, and remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. If you make it all the way through this video, then give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you after this. Board Games 4K. So number 20 on this list is a well-regarded Euro game. I think it's sat at the top of Board Game Geek for quite a while. It's Terra Mystica, and in this game you'll be taking control of one of a vast array of factions. You'll be trying to terraform the land to your liking, because each faction has a preferred type of terrain that it can build buildings on. You'll be building trading houses, you'll be building temples, you'll be building sanctuaries, and you'll be trying to get the most victory points. It's a Euro game that borrows from many other Euro games. They've got elements of Catan in this one. There's lots of different elements of different things. The theme is a little bit dry, it's a little bit abstract, but it's still a massively wonderful game, massively popular. It's recently got a reboot in a game called Gaia Project, which is a sci-fi sort of version of this. We're not interested in that. We've got enough in the box for this. You could play this for years and never play the same game twice. It's Terra Mystica. So number 20 on this list is a game about winemaking. It's viticulture. There's also another game up here we've got called Vinos, which is about winemaking. But this is a game by Stegmaier Games, Jamie Stegmaier. It's a wonderfully produced game. It sees you taking control of a vineyard, and you'll be going from spring all the way through the winter, growing wine, maturing it, and then selling it off to different markets. You've got visitors that come to your winery, and essentially you're just trying to get the most amount of victory points. It's a basic worker placement game. Some people call it a gateway game. I'm not too sure about that. It's a little, maybe a step up from gateway game, but it's still an amazing game. Jamie Stegmaier changed the way games were produced. He sort of set a benchmark, raised the bar with viticulture, and it's got a Tuscany expansion which adds more stuff, and it's a truly wonderful game. It's viticulture. So number 18 on this list is a dice placement game in the vein of Castles of Burgundy. It's Troyes or Troyes if you want to mispronounce it. So essentially what you'll be doing, you'll be rolling your dice, and in doing so you'll provide a communal pool of dice from which you can take different dice, and you'll be placing these dice in different positions. You'll be maybe getting a bit of influence in the church. You'll be hiring all these different characters and all these different personalities. You've also got to keep one eye on the threat track at the bottom, because there's also going to be, say, maybe marauders coming in, or there's going to be pestilence or different things going on. So it's got wonderful medieval sort of Bayeux tapestry style artwork. It's an enduring game. It's got an expansion called The Ladies of Troyes, and it is a wonderful game. That's our number 18. So number 17 on this list is a dexterity game that is gradually gaining more and more popularity every year that it's released. It's called Clask, and what you'll be doing with this one, you've got this little paddle with it splits into two sections with magnets on it. One bit goes under the bottom of the board, one bit goes on the top, and you'll be using your little paddle to knock this ball into the opponent's goal, whilst you're trying to avoid putting your paddle into your own goal, right? It's sort of like air hockey, but not like it, you know, getting more and more popular each year it's been around. You've got the Clask World Championships, and yeah, it's about 40 quid, so it's one of the best dexterity games you can get. It's only 2 players, mind, but there is now a 4-player version, which we haven't personally played, but we'd love to play it. We love these wooden dexterity games. This is one of the best ones, and that's our number 17. That's Clask. So number 16 is another game by Eric M. Lang. It's Arcadia Quest. This is a very basic sort of dungeon romp where you'll be taking control of these chibi type characters, loading them up with weapons and special abilities, and you'll be going out into this dungeon, fighting monsters and fighting yourselves, because one of the things about this game is that one of the missions is to kill a certain number of other players. So it's very basic. It's just move and attack, or attack and move. That's all you're going to be doing, but you'll be refreshing your characters, getting your abilities back up. It's wonderfully produced. It's got loads of expansions. You've got the Inferno expansion, and they've just produced the Arcadia Quest expansion, which we aren't going to bother with because we've got too much Arcadia Quest stuff. But it plays in about, each scenario plays in about an hour, and yeah, we love it. It's our number 16. So number 15 is another game by Jamie Stegmaier, all Stegmaier games, is Scythe. And this one changed the way that games are produced, right? It took Kickstarter by storm. It raised loads and loads of money. The production quality is unsurpassed. It's a very basic sort of Euro style game where it's a lot of resource management. It's like an economic game, but there's mechs in it as well. But one of the things is it's a bit like Cyclades in a sense that you've got these sort of powerful mechs, and in Cyclades you've got these armies, but the combat isn't the central focus of the game. It's more about engine building, so trying to get all the actions on your player back up and running in the most efficient manner. And when combat does happen, it's very, very low key. So he's taken that sort of Euro aspect and tried to mould it into this sort of Ameritrash type sort of thing. And it works really, really well. There's loads of expansions. You've got the airships, you've got the Rise of Fenris, which adds a sort of a legacy style thing to it, and we love it. It's now got a modular board which makes it even more playable, and Jamie Stegmaier has said that he's not going to be producing any more expansions for it. I don't know, who knows what he's going to do, but yeah, it's a wonderful game, that side. So number 14 on this list is a bag building game. It's Orleans or whatever. So what you'll be doing, you get these different types of personalities on these tokens. You'll be chucking them in your bag, drawing these tokens out of your bag, placing them on your player mat to take actions like going to the university, or you'll be trying to sell goods on the market. You might be moving your token around the roads, taking resources and goods, and you might be discarding your workers out onto this secondary board in order to gain more victory points. And it's again, the theme is it's kind of lacking. It's got that wonderful sort of medieval artwork again. It's a very simple game where you'll just be taking tokens out your bag in a sort of a deck building style, that sort of thing, and be placing them out onto your player mat to take actions. And it's a fantastic game. It's got loads of expansions. We've not played with the expansions. We've upgraded it to the deluxe components because it really does look the business. But it's a wonderful game. What else can we say about Orleans? It's fantastic. So number 13 is my kids' favourite game. It's Project Elite, and this has recently got a reprint from Cool Mini or Not. It's on its way, it's coming. We haven't picked that up because the shipping cost was astronomical. It's more than the game itself, so we just stuck with the first edition and the expansion. But essentially you'll be taking on the role of these sci-fi characters defending your facility against wave upon wave of alien hordes. And this is a real-time game, so you'll be rolling dice, taking the actions on these dice over the course of maybe a minute or 2 minutes. And the thing that differentiates itself from other real-time games like Escape, Curse of the Temple is that after those 2 minutes are up, you get to regroup. You get to talk to your other players about what your strategy is going to be, because there are objective-based scenarios in this game, and it's absolutely fantastic. The miniatures are bloody awful. They just look like lumps of plastic, but it doesn't matter because the gameplay itself is absolutely fascinating. We love Project Elite. You chuck in the Adrenaline expansion, and it's one of the best games ever made, no doubt about it. And that's our number 13. So number 12 on this list is another Eric M. Land game. Oh my God, what's going on? This is Rising Sun. We backed this on Kickstarter a couple of years ago, and we got the deluxe version of this. It got some of the best components that we've ever seen, and it's a very, very good game to boot. It's an area control game with monsters, and it's got a very innovative combat system. It's a sort of like the combat system out of Cry Havoc, and the way that we wanted that to work. You'll be using your money to take different combat actions, and even if you lose, the player that wins will have to give you cash back in war reparations. So it's sort of turns things on its head. If you're playing it with an odd number of players, you can make alliances, so that doesn't really work with an equal number of players, so you've got to bear that in mind. But Rising Sun is just a fantastic thing. It's taken the tried and tested mechanisms from games like El Grande and Blood Rage and all that, and just amplified it to 11, and we love it, and that's our number 12. So number 11 on this list is a game by Milton Bradley, by MB Games. It's Heroscape. This was designed by Rob Davio of C4 fame. And what this is, it's a modular thing. It's made out of plastic. You'll be making up this sort of modular board in 3 dimensions. And then you'll be taking these factions, you'll be spending points to hire these factions, and then you'll be going out on the board and just having a scrap. So it's just a case of, like move and attack and move sort of thing. You'll be rolling these dice, calculating how much damage you do, how much defences the other ones have got, and that's it. But the amount of different factions in Heroscape, you could have the US Marines versus these mechs, or you could have British soldiers from the War of Independence fighting against these orc type things. It's a very, very broad selection of heroes. I mean, there's an online community that has created loads and loads of extra characters. Like you can get the HeroClix miniatures, Marvel miniatures, and chuck them in. It's a massive game. you can make your own stuff. We've made, being a bit geeky, we've made our own icebergs, volcanoes and all that sort of stuff. It's a massive game. There's loads of expansion for this. They're very expensive now because they've been out of print. They did try and reprint it under the guise of this sort of Magic the Gathering thing, but it didn't really work. The components weren't as good and it's sort of tailed off. So if there's a publisher out there that wants to get hold of this one, recreate the magic that was Heroscape a few years ago, then please, you have to do that. So yeah, that's it. That's our number 20 down to 11. Remember, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below and we'll see you next time.